Pokemon GO Podcast. It is streaming on my... It's telling me it's streaming in OBS, and here we go. It is streaming now.
Pokemon GO Podcast went live is the notification I got. Yeah, you're hosting.
There we go.
My hosting. Lady Jasmine twitching in the chat. Just popped in my head.
Yeah.
I do weird shit.
All right. Good. I'm good to go. Okay for goal.
All right. Hitting record on the audios. It's picking up everybody. Cool. Double checking the emails. I don't have any new emails. All right. And away we go. I was trying to come up with a new intro. It's going to be the same old. That's what I'm going to do. Welcome to Pokemon GO Podcast, where we talk about everything that's awesome and fun in the game world of Pokemon GO that is on the mobile devices. I am one of your three trifecta of hosts, Charles McFall, Rock Out of Podcasting. Down below, in nice sepia tones, coming to us from 1977, is the Pokemon GO Rock Out of Podcasting, Brian Ibbett.
Oh, is that what I am now?
I had some other name. I totally lost it. I just lean in every time I lose. Let's make it more awkward. No, Brian.
Yes, I'm just spinning the hits on my turntable. Everything from Ambrosia to the Doobie Brothers.
Okay. You redesign your background. It's your basement, I know, but you redesign your background from time to time.
I do. Well, this is only the second time. I mean, it's, this is.
I don't see an arcade. I've seen an arcade.
Oh, yeah, no, it's right there. The Tempest machine is right there.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is right there to, I guess it'd be your right where the crystal ball kind of things are.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, turntables. I want to see some turntables.
By the way, this is my Pokemon crystal ball. This is my Ghastly in a ball right there.
I've been meaning to bring my Snorlax is in my room. I've been meaning to bring it down, but I don't have anything close enough that you can see. I mean, it would disappear behind me, so it's too far away.
You've had a Snorlax and you lost it already?
No, I just gave it to the trainer just for some candy. That's all.
Light that guy up. Light it up.
The man, the myth, the addict of Dr. Pepper, Joseph Hart.
I actually like Mountain Dew better personally, but
well, I haven't seen you on Mountain Dew, but last week you were hopped up on the doctor.
Last Dragon Con, you saw me on all kinds of Mountain Dew.
Okay, everything's a blur at Dragon Con. You could have been hopped up on Coke, and I don't mean Coca-Cola, and I wouldn't have known because everything's just busy and so. Okay, now Terry, for the podcast, I'm going to take a quick aside here for the live chat room. I know what a Snorlax looks like. I've seen them in gyms. I'm not that filthy of a casual. But yeah. So, on that note, what is our experience of the week? Who wants to go first?
Go for it, Brian.
Okay.
So we've all had no experiences this week.
Well, yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a lot of experiences this week. This was, I'm getting all these notifications. People are going to see that I've got an HDMI switch and a Ethernet switch that are coming. You can turn off notifications, but unless your phone is off, those things still pop up. I've just got to actually physically go in there and turn off notifications.
There's a way to set it. There's a switch. You set Do Not Disturb as always. It defaults to being off only.
Right. I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, my experience was, number one, finding out that for sure that GoFest is a big no for me. But also, I was able to get out and do some Pokemon Go playing, some raiding. Nothing new. But I did fire up a Lucky Egg and evolve a bunch of things. So now we're sitting at, let's give you the current scoreboard for Zipokedex for Hone region. 105 currently in Hone. There's quite a few I don't have. I mean, Lotads are so few and far between out here. That's why that's my buddy right now is a Lotad. But, man, we need more We need more Lotads going. But I'm looking forward to Saturday being a big Pokemon Go experience, as it should be for a lot of people. We'll talk about that in the show. But just not have had a chance to get out there and play very much, unfortunately. Sucks.
I've been playing my normal style, but my big adventure of the week is a realization.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple weeks ago, we had the Kanto event, or the starter, whatever it's called. We got Magikarps, we got all that stuff, and just like Brian said, I took the advice, made sure Magikarp was my buddy.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get to that evolve a Magikarp, right? And I had 404 Magikarp, and I've caught a few since then, whatever. But it definitely fell off. But I did it. My realization was, I was out with my good buddy Barry Falk, and we went raiding. Gyarados was a great attacker against the raid boss. We went up Latios or Latias, whichever one it was.
What did yours have? Dragon moves?
Yeah, and it was like super effective. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna power up these super effectives, and I wasn't thinking, and I dumped 100 candies in theory because the other day I'm like, hey, let me just look at my Magikarps as I do out of habit. I'm like, wait, what does that say? 300 candy? Oh, dang it! Although I didn't say dang it, but yeah, it was a realization like, oh man, I just got caught up in the moment, wasn't thinking about it, powered up Gary so I could take down this boss, and now Magikarp's back to being my buddy, so I can try to get at least it's still within the 100 range. It wasn't like it got down to 100.
Did you are you in that level of the special field research yet?
No, I'm not there yet.
Legendary
I'm still trying to get a Ditto. I trolled Joe and Bo for a good six months. Look, I had another Ditto. I got another. Nothing now. Nothing. You know,
Wow.
It's the worst case scenario is I catch a Snorlax and it goes, oh. Yeah, that's the worst case scenario today. But no, I'm still on that Ditto phase right now, trying to catch that Ditto. So I have some time. To build my candies back up. But I'd planned, and everything went sideways, getting caught up in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that. What about you, Joe? What'd you do?
So this last week we had a health fair at work. Okay, and there is a reason for this story. One of the things that they gave out a bunch of free stuff. One of the free things they gave out was a little check your stress level things. You hold down your finger on it and it changes color, kind of like a mood ring, right? Mm-hmm. So I've used that, a bunch of times, and it's always been pretty close to as calm as it goes, right? So
sounds about right for Joe, unless you're pepper.
But then I decided to try it while my phone was sitting there clocking during the ticket purchasing for Go Fest.
Oh, no.
And it was jet black.
Off the charts.
It did not move from the uber stressed once. And so, I was super stressed out. I didn't end up getting a ticket. But thankfully, a great patron, Barry Falk, got some extras, which I believe he actually is the one that had your ticket last year as well.
So last year, here's the story. Let's see how it differs from Joe's. Last year, I got in 5 minutes early, kept refreshing, got distracted for 5 minutes, or 5 minutes after the hour. I hit refresh. Oh, tickets are on sale. Buy one. That's all I wanted. One.
Mm-hmm.
Buy one. What? That amount's not available? No, refresh. Buy one. And I mean, it was that movie moment, that Dolby surround sound, as the world got small. And Barry Falk came through. He had bought an extra, and he had me covered. So, Joe, you had a much better experience this year, right?
I was on the website an hour ahead of time. Okay?
Yeah.
On the website an hour ahead of time, watching it count down, because it had a countdown.
Right.
And immediately when it hit 0, bam, I'm clicking, I'm going through. I'm like, all right, this is going great. I'm not getting any lag. Get 3 pages in, because it was like 4 pages to just get
through
the purchase. I select Saturday for the southern entrance, 1 ticket, go. And then it's and it just sat there, and it clocked out about 5 times before it finally said tickets are all sold out.
Oh man.
Wow.
And so I didn't get a ticket. And so I was just like, oh, ouch.
Mhm.
But yeah, thankfully Barry is awesome.
Yeah.
And was able to get a few extra tickets. So
Did you have a making a diamond moment when that just would not give you a ticket?
yeah, I was just like,
I know. Yeah.
You said it didn't go off ultra stress, so yeah.
Yeah.
The,
Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for Barry, but unfortunately for everyone who was following the advice that I put out on social media and everything, because I was aiming for Saturday Southern Entrance, but the ticket that Barry has is Sunday Southern Entrance. So I'm going to do everything I can to meet up with people outside of the event on Saturday. But yeah, I'm right now. I think what I might do is aim for like a breakfast before the event. But we'll see.
Mhm.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
with BlizzCon tickets, what you can do is go into. Usually they sold them, or in the past they've sold them through universe.com, and you could log in, get everything squared away, right? Your credit card information, your name, address, everything, your login, so that as soon as tickets go on sale, it's buy 2, click to purchase, boom, and you're through. But
And I've got some pet peeves with how it was handled, because that sounds wonderful.
We'll talk about how it's
Yeah.
handled.
Yeah.
And if
Well,
you
I-
want to, we can jump right into the topic.
Let's just jump right into that.
All right, let's do it.
I don't think that's actually one of the sources here. But
Well, no, it needs to be a talked about topic. Go ahead.
they did absolutely nothing, not even a CAPTCHA to prevent bots from buying tickets.
Mm.
And
Right, so let's preface. I know you're upset, but let's preface this, right? So last week, before tickets go on sale, we were talking about, let's try to get some for the show. Oh, you can't do that because we want to give them away. I'm not going, but I was going to spend $20 to get a ticket to give it away on the show. And we're, but you have to tie your account to it, this and that. So, okay. Well, that makes it sound like, and they said, here's what we're doing to make the event better. We've talked to all the different cell companies. We've done this, we've done that. And we're like, okay, they're taking steps to make this a better experience purchasing tickets and everything else. And so I didn't even bother to try to.
Well, yeah, because they insinuated that when you were buying the tickets, you had to tie it to your account right then.
They did not make it clear how it would work. And then you get in and find out bots stole the rug out from underneath you, just like they did last year.
Yep.
Jeez.
And they have 2 weeks to sell the tickets, because that's how long before those tickets become invalid. You have to tie it to an account within 2 weeks, or else they invalidate your purchase. And I guess next week they're going to sell those tickets again. Whatever ones don't get tied to an account, I'm not sure.
If they're smart, they will sell them at the event.
If they
That's the only way.
they were smart, they would have sold the tickets directly in the in-game shop, because that would tie it directly to your
Terry,
account.
I think Terry is a little mistaken here. Terry it says by GoFest, I'm sorry, I misread. I thought you were saying by GoFest, I'll have it ready. To get these
By
ready.
GoFest 10, yeah, in eight years.
I don't think that they will. I don't think they care. Ultimately, they are literally raking in the money each month. And even with a bad event last year, by all measure, it was from a standpoint of an event, it was a bad event. They still made a ton of money. And even with the lawsuit that's supposed to kick off at the end of this month for us to get some kind of reimbursements, they have made more money this year in between the two events than ever before. So there's no pain here other than we yell, right? And I mean, the universal we yell about it. This is bad for the fans. This is bad for the users. This is not bad for the company, unfortunately. And it's sad, is what it is. And I think they will resell it. I think ultimately they'll resell those reclaimed tickets online. But if they listen to the community, they would sell it at the event and have a way to maybe reserve tickets, and you have to pick them up at the gate, type of deal. Pick up so there are no more hackers, right? No more, not hackers, but no more bots, no more scalpers is the word I was going for. And Zinzlu, you're right. Niantic I don't think they're not smart. I think they're very smart. I think they don't care.
Yeah, because like I said, a CAPTCHA, now that wouldn't have stopped all the bots, but that would have significantly reduced the number of bots that would have that bought tickets. Just a simple CAPTCHA, and they didn't even do that. To me, that's just complete negligence and complete. They're apathetic. They don't care.
Emmett, what's your way in on this?
Definitely. I mean, anytime you've got something like this, it absolutely needs to have a level of security on there to make sure that bots can't get into it. I think that, making sure that you assign a Pokemon trainer name as you're ordering your tickets is one thing to kind of keep people from like buying them and marking up the value and selling them on eBay for however much. And then at the very least a CAPTCHA to make sure that at least it's humans buying these things. So
I think the highest listing I saw was $9,000. I doubt it sold.
Right now.
Wow, so it wasn't over 9,000?
Nice. Currently on eBay, $999 or best order is the highest listing.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the one that's going to sell. Literally 16 minutes left, counting down right now. $990 for 2 tickets for Saturday North entrance. 74 bids.
Jeez,
they're going to make $1,000. Well, not quite $1,000. You minus the $20 or $40 for the 2 tickets. They're going to make $950.
Yeah, that's just not right. I think that's. I mean, I've never been a fan of the whole scalper market for even music concerts, right? Shows that that I see. It's like it's just so skeevy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
So a lot of these have bids on them that are waiting a couple of days to go out, and they're lower. They're 675, 750, but they still have 2 or 3 days left. They're going to hit $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
By then, and that's. It's sad because the company could help the fans out, the people out. I mean, $20 is a great price. It is because they know you have to travel. They know you have to do this other thing. They split it up into 2 days. But it seems like all Niantic did on this particular case was focus on making the event hopefully go better, but not the pre-event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Zinzlu saying, the company Niantic's going down. They're going down in how they treat people, but they're not going down as a business. They are they're making. The last report I saw said they're still making like $60 million a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now they're spending who knows how much, but they're still making a huge profit. I mean, it's still a massive. And what can the only thing I feel like we can do as fans, as players, is stop playing, right? When was the last time you put money into the game, Ibbett?
It's been a couple months.
Joe?
It's probably been about a year, actually.
Oh, wow.
So even if we stopped playing, it's not going to hurt their bottom line. We're not money players.
Right.
We're not the ones contributing to that. So it's. I don't have any answers on how to fix it other than be prepared for what happened last year, which is you won't get to play, but you'll get to hang out with cool people and have a good time if you go that way.
Well, if Sprint users can still play like last year, I'm okay.
And it wasn't all of them. It was some Sprint users, and it was still spotty.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, Joe, here's a tip of advice for anybody going to the fest. If you walk around going, well, I'm all Sprint, I'm still playing, you'll probably get a black eye at some point in the day. I'm just saying. You might not want to go around yelling.
So I just need to, hug my phone close to my chest so no one else can look over my shoulder and
I'm
see
just saying, don't go around going, well, I got it, Joe, like you just did.
Sucks to be you. Sucks to be you.
So it's
yeah. A lot of people in the community have been reporting the tickets because Illinois apparently does have some kind of law against scalpers, but I don't know. I saw some.
But how's it defined? I mean, that's the thing with the law. How's it define scalpers? This was a free market. Does it say you cannot resell them? Then that's scalping. If Niantic has a term,
it is against Niantic's terms of service. So regardless of what Illinois' law are,
they're scalping.
And so I've heard, I haven't personally witnessed, but I've heard that some have been taken off of eBay that have been reported. But
you got, I mean, dude,
that's probably already faded. All the people that were out there reporting. So, yeah.
Now some are reasonable. I mean, because market shares what it is. Some are reasonable. 470 or best offer, but it's sold. That one sold out. But it was
that's not reasonable.
Market
for a $20 ticket.
I'm not saying it's fair. It is what the market is bearing. If the market is bearing $1,000 and you want to go, it is reasonable for 2 tickets to get it for $500 because that's what the market is bearing.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying from a business standpoint, you honestly, your choice is don't go. I mean, your choice isn't. I mean, Barry took care of you. And if it was so fed up, he's like, screw this noise. I'm not going. No.
I wish that were the case. Yeah,
I know.
I would have loved to have gone, but yeah.
I know. But, I mean, that's the thing. If you wanted to go, Joe, who's your favorite band? I
don't know.
He's totally Insane Clown Posse is what my prediction is.
Hello, Joe. I get it. This is actually a good case, Joe. If you had the means, right? You had the job where you've got money to play with. Let's say you have $1,000, has no earmarks on it, and your family's doing well, and everybody does well. It's your play money. And you were like, I can get to Chicago, and there's somebody standing outside that I can pay $500 for a ticket. You might do that. I'm not saying it's right, it's fair, but you're going to pay it. That's what I'm saying the market bears. Is there was somebody who tried to win tickets to our show last year. He brought his daughter. He won 1 ticket from us, actually, and he's trying to get one for her. And he was going around just asking people, you want to sell your ticket? And he had the money to do it. He would have paid him up to whatever he had to spend on it to get that done. And I think he ultimately did get a ticket and get her in because I'm pretty sure. I know I saw her at the meetup. Can't remember if I saw her during the day at the event, but it's never right. But if this is for you, Joe, this might be a once in a lifetime event.
Mm-hmm.
What are you willing to spend on it? If you had the money, and unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Now, if they made, I'm with you. Niantic it's on them. It's on them not to control eBay. It's not on us to patrol eBay. It's on Niantic to set up those standards to say this is how the tickets run. You're right.
Prevent it in the first place.
Okay. My free WordPress account, which I don't even use anymore, I always have my paid hosting, but the free WordPress account comes with a free plugin for a CAPTCHA if I wanted to do that for whatever reason on my site. And they didn't do that. They didn't do it. And exactly, Terry and Zenzalu, the people who lose are the players. Absolutely. Absolutely. I am not, by no means am I supporting what they did, or I think it's a sad thing, but I'm saying at this point, your choices are don't go or pay the scalpers.
Mm-hmm.
Or hopefully have somebody. Let's say Brian did get a ticket and now he can't go. If he were to, he'd probably give it away on the show. But if he were to sell it, he'd sell it for $20. Right,
yeah,
Brian?
Right. I'm not trying to make a mint out of doing that for sure. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And Zenzalu, I mean, I can't. There's nothing I can disagree with there. The scalpers win, Niantic wins, and we just ultimately lose, and that's unfortunate. And then I do what I did last year. I focus. I mean, I wasn't even going to bother this year. I'll be honest. I just zero. If a patron had come out of the clouds and said, "I'll fly you there. I'll pay for everything. I'll pay for all your meals. 100% free." I love you, but I can't because it's. I think we're ultimately going to lose. I think it'll be a fun time, Joe. I think you're going to have fun hanging out with Barry, just like I did. You're meeting the people, hanging out with the people. I think hopefully, man, I wish you the best. I hope it's going to be just rock star, knock it out of the park. Oh my God, you come out with stories of we did this and we did that. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
History so far, even up to today's history, says they're not putting enough effort in to pull that off for you.
I'm going to catch like 12 Snorlaxes that weekend.
See, now you're just a troll. I'm wishing you good vibes.
You know what you're going to get? You're going to get like a bunch of unknowns.
It's going to be crap on me.
And then I'll take another video of me transferring them and send it to you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be unknown city out there is what it's going to be, and we know it.
And it was unknown city out there before.
Mhm.
And, here's a little tip: be careful. Just watch the crowds because they get crazy. And I don't mean angry, which they will do if it goes south. They'll get angry. But there wasn't the first time an unknown showed up at the fest last year. A horde, like 30, 40 people, a horde of people ran to where they thought it was going to be. I was like, well, people, literally, it's going to be there. It just showed up. It's going to be there for 30 minutes. Walk. Be cool. So just kind of keep your eye out for that, Joe, while you're there.
This is not a drill. This is not a drill. Walk in orderly fashion.
And I do hope that everybody who got their tickets who wanted tickets got tickets. I've heard rumors that we might have something to give away on the show at some point. I haven't gotten confirmed. Do we have confirmation on that?
I think we can.
Well,
yeah.
If it does happen, we'll have to do it before the next show because the 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, right.
So, AKA, start watching our social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get that fired off this weekend.
There will be.
If we do have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get all that confirmation. I believe somebody bought one for us specifically to give away, which is awesome. And we want, and that's the thing, we want to balance. We want to balance the injustice, right? And it wasn't bots; it was a human being who did it, and it was so we could do it for free.
And it was actually right. And actually, that person had bought a ticket for me in anticipation because they knew I didn't get one. So, and since I can't go, I think that's where that may come from. So. Yep.
There you go. All right. Headlines. Just got back some GoFest documents from a Freedom of Information Act request. Here are some highlights from the Silk Road.
Interesting. Okay.
That is interesting. Joe, let's do this, man. What is it?
So this is a breakdown of some of the specifics that Niantic requested or got permission, I guess, to do. So they are expecting at least 20,000 participants at any given moment. I haven't seen exact numbers on how many tickets sold, but this leads me to believe that there were 20,000 sold for each day. But I could be wrong.
As we got closer to the fest last year, we got the park plans you had to submit for a festival. I think they'd
that's what this is.
Last year. Yeah, so I think it might just be anticipation numbers, not necessarily what was sold numbers.
Okay. But they are not expecting for over half of those to be in a single area at a given time, which is probably why they've got the north and south entrance requirements. The permit that they got allows for amplified sound, various tents. So the trainer tents or the team tents that were up last year, banners and signs, various stages, fencing and barricades.
Yeah, everything you would think of, right?
Yeah, scenic pieces depicting certain elements from the Pokemon Go game. That's all pretty standard stuff. Now, the things that they permission not allowed, things that are on there, that is a lot more interesting to me. Because I don't fully understand some of this.
Well, and it's hard to see because the whole thing is everything is a bullet list, and there's it's not an outline form. We don't know where those things stop. And some of it's a little confusing.
Yeah. The one I'm looking at is the aid/water stations along event route is under not allowed /
Yes. Although I've been told from local people that the park itself does have a bunch of water fountains.
Maybe that's why they didn't allow
perhaps.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting to see that because in the announcement, I'm pretty sure they stated that there would be plenty of water stations for you to refill your water bottles.
Well, and that would make sense. If the park itself is furnishing the water stations, you don't need extra water stations.
Yeah.
Because it says /not allowed /requested. They might not even requested it if the park is going, no, we've got 5,000 water stations around. You don't need that, type of deal. They might not have requested it. Yep. What's the one that boggles your mind, Joe?
That was the one that immediately stood out to me. Now, last year, did they have food vendors and things like that?
They have food, not alcohol.
Yeah.
They had food vendors, yeah.
Because in general, the stuff not permitted is vendors, basically. No food, no beverages,
no merchandise.
no merchandise, no alcohol, no corporate sponsorship, no
live entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's defined by. They put a DJ on last year that everybody's like, why?
Right. Well, I mean, but even Hanky getting up on the stage and saying, "Hey, thanks for coming," would be considered live entertainment.
Live.
And yet they're allowed amplified sound. So
Right.
where's the line there?
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
They're not apparently not allowed to provide medical services.
That's why I think this thing is there's parts of this that are suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, the whole reservation is going to cost Niantic, or probably already cost Niantic, is $276,000.
Well, I'm going to tell you now, you're not going to get a Charizard at this event because they've banned pyrotechnics.
Oh, does that mean since there's no inflatables, no chance for a Snorlax?
Yeah. There's some interesting things here. Man, that cost is so low actually for an event.
It is really surprising because
that's just a park cost. I
that's
think.
true.
Well,
Yeah.
because what they probably did was reach out to several different cities and have them bid on the price. So Chicago probably came out with the lowest bid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see what more information comes out as it goes along to see what happens.
Yeah.
And reminding everybody in the chat, if you do !S, hit space, and then put in your title suggestion, you can get title suggestions put up on our collection page, and we'll read those in the show. So speaking of Charizard, I've got hopes this time. This is for the community event, and we're going to talk about Blast Burn here in a second. But I've got hopes for the community event. I will be at the Georgia Renaissance Festival if the weather holds this weekend. It's supposed to rain, so I might not get to go. And then I'll definitely try to go out.
Just bring an umbrella, you pansy.
You've obviously never been to a Renfest, sir. It becomes a mud hole.
Yeah.
I went to
put hay down.
I went to a Renaissance Festival just not that long ago. In fact, I asked you if you were going. So don't you lie to me.
Why would I go to your Renaissance Festival?
It was in Georgia.
Oh, yeah, you did ask me. You went to our festival?
Yes.
You came to the Georgia Festival?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this brings up a whole separate issue. You came to my backyard and didn't bother to say, hey, come get a sandwich with me or something?
I
think we need to talk.
I messaged you and asked, and it was like 6 hours later before you even answered.
Yeah, well, you said, are you going to the festival? No, not this weekend. That was it. You didn't say, I'm going. You didn't say why you were asking.
And if you paid attention to
Dr. Pepper on tap for you, man.
If you paid attention to Discord, I was talking to people in there about it quite a bit too, because one of the people in our Discord goes every year.
I go when the wife says we go. That's what we do. Well, as you do, they don't put hay down at ours. It because they
really? Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about thunder. I mean, they're not talking about rain. They're talking about thunder. So we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping weather holds out. It'll be clear. I'll be out there, and the signals are pretty good because most people in that event put their stuff away because it's just go around, have some fun, drink some beer, see the shows. Go on. So I'm hoping I've been able to play before pretty well out there, so that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the Blast Burn that is coming with a community event. Where is its place in the meta? Everybody thinks it's going to be.
Well, it's so funny because when this article first came out, people were super hyped for it. And, like you were saying, and I interrupted, people are thinking that it's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
But it's not even out yet, and it's already been nerfed.
Oh, really?
What?
Wow.
Yeah. So we have this great article, this great thing, doing a breakdown of how amazing it is, and it's already been nerfed real bad.
Wow.
To where it's. So it used to be where Charizard was one of the best fire attackers, even above Moltres, when this was first analyzed. It is no longer there. He is back down quite a bit below Moltres now, because they nerfed it pretty bad. They gutted it. I'm hoping that they revert it. I'm definitely still going to try to get myself a shiny Blastburn Charizard, but yeah.
What do the shinies look like, by the way?
Charizard is black.
Okay. What about?
Yeah, he's cool.
But I mean, we're going to get him as Charmander. So what? What does a shiny Charmander look like?
And while you look that up, I'm going to ask a similar question. Just to be clear, so we get the Charmanders, but we have to evolve them during the 3-hour window to get the Blastburn. But if we catch a Charmander, it might be shiny. It's not about the evolution; it's about catching the shiny.
So you have to evolve it during the event to get Blastburn.
Right. No, I get that part. Yes. Okay. Cool.
And I've linked the shiny in the chat, the Twitch chat.
Okay.
Sorry, Twitch chat. You're right. Sorry.
But it's kind of a yellowish color, the Charmander and Charmeleon.
Okay. It's like a mustard yellow.
Yeah, with Charizard being a black Charizard, or
that is cool.
Kind of purplish, but yeah,
I'd say dark purple. But yeah, it's cool looking. It's really cool.
Yeah. So I am excited for that, and my wife put it in our calendar about a month ago, and we're planning on getting out there in the rain, bring umbrellas. Our kids even have their own little umbrella. It's going to be fun.
Nice. So, and a tip for that and a tip for the fest is go ahead and get you one. And they're not that expensive. Like $15 is expensive for this. But get you one of those waterproof pouches for your phone that you can still play with, because they are phenomenal, and they will still allow you to touch the screen and do things. Now you got to worry about heat buildup, but it keeps your phone from getting. If a deluge comes down, you'll be safe.
Or just have a new iPhone, which then you don't have to worry about putting it in anything waterproof.
That's what you say. But even though they've blasted that out, that they're waterproof, water resistance, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's still not.
Freaks me out, man.
It's still not covered. It's still not covered in their basic warranty.
No, that's true.
Water
that's
damage.
True. Yeah, so you don't. Right. Yeah.
So don't be spouting out stuff like that, and people expecting it to be fine.
You could literally
a sprinkle is fine, but yeah, right. Don't
you
submerge
take me
it
to the iPhone factory, and they drop it into a 50-foot deep pool and show me how it works. I said, like, no, I'm gonna buy me a waterproof case, thank you. It just freaks me out, man. It's just coming up through the age of these things being invented, and you barely get a drop of water on it, and it dies. And nope, this little tab inside the phone shows you got it wet. We're not fixing it. No, can't do it. Sorry.
Right.
Now, are you excited about Community Day a bit?
I am excited about Community Day. Yeah, we're planning on doing the Arvada thing again. Oh, it did not allow me to. Look at that. I couldn't post another. I found a link to what they look like in the game. They look less
let me make sure you're a mod.
Yeah, set me up. Come on. Sorry. But yeah, no, we're excited. There's a Denver Tadpole meetup that day as well at a video game place. So we're going to do 2 hours of Community Day and then go to the Tadpole meetup. But
nice.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it.
I kind of want it to rain this weekend. I mean, like storm, so that my family doesn't want to go to the Ren Fest this weekend, so I could sleep. 'Cause I haven't slept in what feels like forever, as far as like always doing something. And then I can just go out and take my daughter, make her come with me, bring her tablet. We can go to the park, and even if it's pouring down rain, we can still do Community Day in the car, because the park is just that big that we can still go and play and do things, or maybe go out with the umbrella. I mean, you're right. I don't like water. I just don't. Not when it comes to playing and walking around. Now, I went to the water park last weekend, and that was fun. And interesting enough, the water park, or at least the people who play Pokemon Go are smart, that you put away your cell phone at a water park. So there's literally one stop, and that's at the front of the park, and that's it.
Yes,
I
right.
That stop, and I went and put my stuff in the locker and went and had fun with the family.
Because it would suck. Like, all right, oh my gosh, there's a raid starting up. Let me go all the way down to the other end of the park, grab my thing out of the locker.
Water slide and then swim over there.
Right, exactly.
But what's interesting, and it still freaked me out, and people have them in cases, but people are freaking Snapchatting on the slides. I'm like, you do know water's not the only damage that can happen. I mean, these things are fast. You can break your phone on this. Okay.
Wow,
people.
no kidding. Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, plus, you're going to get that notification. You're going too fast down the water slide.
Yeah. But I do want to go out and do this. So that's my hopes there. Okay. You were talking about this, Joe. Lugia was a mistake, apparently.
Yeah. So Lugia popped up for just a short little bit, but it was a mistake, and it lasted for, I don't even think, a full day.
No, like half a day, yeah.
So, but what surprises me, after the Lugia issue, they compiled a list of the different raid bosses, and other than Latios and Latios, there's actually a couple of differences between the Americas and Africa versus Europe, Asia, and Australia, and that surprised me quite a bit. So, Tier 1, Europe, Asia, Australia has Duskull. Tier 3, they have Pinsir, and Tier 4, they have Walrein. Whereas in Americas and Africa, Tier 1 has Shuppet, Shuppet in Tier 1, Granbull in Tier 3, and Houndoom in Tier 4. And those are the differences. And so I was surprised that there were differences besides the Latios and Latios. I expected that to be the only difference. So, but that's what it is.
Yeah, interesting. So if you've been really banking on getting a Walrein in raids, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go to Europe, Asia, or Australia.
That's right.
Well, it sounds like a good excuse to get some plane tickets. That $990 would go way better to a plane ticket to another country than it would to go get the Pokemon Go Fest ticket.
Yeah, totally. Right. You could totally do you might even be able to do like a 3-legged trip, right? Where you go to south of Florida, like Miami, and then get the stuff there, the Corsola and the Heracross there, and then go Australia or something. I guess that would be, you'd want to go the other way. You'd want to go California, Australia, but there's ways of doing it. There's totally ways of doing it.
Yep.
It's weird. Sorry, I'm trying to add you as a mod, and you're there. You're there as an editor, right there.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I'm not a mod. I'm an editor, but why am I not a mod?
I'll figure it out. Why
Charles doesn't like you.
Yep.
You take that back, Joe.
Still got punked.
I've known Brian Emmett forever. You take that back. Oh, yeah, I did see this notice. The storage increased up to 2,000.
Yeah, so it used to be 1,500. Now it's 2,000.
Right.
I immediately thought of Brian Emmett.
Right, exactly. Like, oh, it's this. Oh, I accidentally just bought 500 more. Yeah, no, I have not made any purchases for extra item storage. 1,500 does seem to be doing just fine for me. So the 2,000, if I get more rare candies, then sure, I could see doing that. But no, not in any hurry to do that.
What about you, Joe? You're gonna buy 2,000 spots?
I currently only have 850, so I wasn't even at the cap before. So,
yeah, I think I'm at 650. So I basically just trash a whole lot of stuff when it gets full.
Yeah,
and by stuff, I mean the Ultra Balls and those things where I get 100. I'm not going to throw 100 in a week. So
I have a hard time with that. Revives now are the thing that I get rid of. Revives Nanubs and then if I need to, regular raspberries are the things that I get rid of before any balls.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely. Nanabs first. But actually, before revives, I go to the berries, nanabs.
But you should still hold on to a few nanabs, because for field research, when you've got to do like 3 great shots in a row, having a nanab that you can kind of keep your target from bouncing around is a great way to make sure that, like, they're perfect for if you get something higher level and you use regular Pokeballs and a nanab, because they're going to escape out of the regular Pokeball, but they're big enough that you can pretty much guarantee you're going to get a great shot. So yeah, you gotta keep a few nanabs. But
yeah, and you're absolutely correct with that. I've actually said going the field research has really gotten me into actively playing a little bit more. And again, my schedule keeps me from playing a lot, but I'm playing more than I was. It's not just I spun this stuff automatically. I'm good. I mean, I'm catching a few things, and instead of trashing things, I'm throwing out the berries. Might as well use them, right? Throwing out a berry here. My pineapple gets above 60, which is rare. I'll throw it at anything, but I do try to keep
really? Okay.
50. Well, I try to keep a good 50 for when we get that one that you really need, or the next gen comes out.
Or the next gen is going to be right. That's what I'm saving.
I don't use them a whole lot. But the nanabs I'll use some, the regular berries, and then I will. I mean, when I hit 80 something raspberries, I took 20, 30 get thrown away. It just, and yeah, some of the revives. I've got 40 mega revives, so I'll keep 20 regular revives just
mega
for fun.
Revives.
What's it called?
Max.
Okay,
Max revives.
That I got 40 of those, 40 or 50 of those. Yeah, and I've used when I was out with Barry, I used a whole bunch of the crystal meth snowflakes, and got a bunch of stardust. So, whatever the star shards, star pieces, starmies.
Take you anywhere.
I threw a lot of starmies out, and that's what I did. I've got 12 lucky eggs. So like the whole time I was with Barry, just lucky egg the whole time. Well, if we're just walking around the block, still there. Well,
you're doing raids with them, so yeah, you gotta, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great. So I'm more involved in doing things, but I'm still, when it comes to actively playing, will always be the filthy casual. I mean, there'll be moments of spike in activity, but yeah. Terry says actively playing more. Does that mean you use your gotcha a few more times a week?
Yes,
no,
that is pretty accurate.
I can't use it more than I already do. I turn it on as soon as I get in the car and turn it off. Anytime I'm not sitting at my desk, it's on. So, I mean,
I'm surprised you haven't gotten
on the screen, Terry.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised you haven't gotten a Ditto.
Me too. It's crazy weird. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee domains registered by Nintendo. Rumors say that it has to be compatible with Pokemon Go. So, what's Let's Go? That's not the festival. It's not like Outbreak or anything, right?
No. These are just new domains. People are still speculating on what it actually is going to mean. So we'll have to wait and see. This is more of a just FYI. This might maybe kind of be coming down the pipe. So,
okay,
we'll have to wait and see what this turns into. But it is exciting because they teased a long time ago that they were going to have things that were compatible with Pokemon Go that were outside of Pokemon Go.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see.
Well, they're not very clear. Like, is it Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is one domain, or is it Pokemon Let's Go is one domain, Pikachu and Eevee is another domain?
Well, if you go to the website, it's PokemonLet'sGoPikachu.com and PokemonLet'sGoEevee.com.
Okay, gotcha. All right, yeah, the headline, even the Reddit headline wasn't terribly clear about that.
Yeah, so if you go to, it's NintendoSoup.com.
Okay.
Ew.
You snorted a little bit. That's awesome.
I did. It was like, ugh.
So yummy. The soup is so tasty.
Well, I'm excited. I always like new things in games.
For sure. Yeah.
Something to grow this out.
If it's something that works outside of the game too, right? Like it's some sort of toy that kind of works with the game or outside of the game. That's kind of a cool thing to for our families that maybe don't play the game but maybe do want to want to participate somehow. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. All right, this next one and last headline of the night comes from Neener McNeener on Reddit. That is Pokemon
Best name
Go.
ever. Yeah.
That's reddit.com/r/Pokemon Go podcast. I love it. Yeah, Neener McNeener. And it's talking about Niantic is actually seemingly reinstating spoofing accounts.
That is the
Say it
rumor.
ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so.
Mhm.
Is that these aren't permanent bans that have been laid down on the spoofers, but temp bans, and that they will be back after 90 days. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm sure the spoofers are a big source of, well, I don't know if they're a big source of money, to be honest, but they might be.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, if
Maybe.
they're spoofing and maybe buying
Raid passes to
exactly, yeah. So it's possible, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of anger on Reddit about this. Somebody from Blizzard says, well, we've done some studies, and that we can actually see that suspensions are more effective than permabans for preventing repeat offenses by the same people. So they're saying you actually give them their account back, and they're less likely to do it again in the future. So I don't know. If that's really the case, then that's great. I guess if you know permaban, you're never going to get back in. You're just going to get angry. You're going to create a new account. You're going to go back to spoofing with the new account. But if you're like, okay, all right, let me get the 3 months and then in Poke jail, and I'm out. I'm not going to do it again.
serve my time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's with all the grief that I get for talking about spoofing,
Mhm.
and not that I do it, but just some of the ideas I've thrown out. As much as Niantic has given us battery grief to help stop spoofing, I'm a little surprised that this might be a thing.
Mhm.
I mean, it depends on why. I guess it depends on why they got it. I mean, I know we went down the list of different bands 2 or 3 weeks ago that you could get, the temp, soft, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so for me to see something from Reddit takes a whole lot of yelling on Reddit, right?
Mhm.
I don't go there. So it has to be a big enough thing that either hits a regular, I look for mentions of Pokemon Go, right? I use a Google search and
Sure.
look for that stuff. So it has to hit a news story or be big enough that our people in Discord give a crap about it, or that somebody shares it on Twitter. And I saw this a week ago that they are possible. So that means to me, it tells me there's a lot of what are you doing, Niantic comments going on.
Yeah.
And it's still going forward. Joe, what would be your solution if you're on the Niantic side of it?
I don't even know, because I hope, I don't know.
You hope they learn their lesson, don't
yeah.
you? Yeah.
But if history's shown us anything, they don't learn their lesson.
Mhm.
And I honestly think, why bother? I mean, why bother lifting the ban? If you're spoofing and they stop you, it's not that it doesn't. I don't know how to do it, so maybe it is that difficult, but it doesn't seem that difficult just to open a second account.
Right.
And
Even if you're in 3-month jail.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and still spoof and still go wherever you want to go. And I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, I think to me, that's the one thing that says, hey, we're taking this seriously. Yeah, we're hurting the regular players by taking their battery, blah, 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 but we're banning these people. We're kicking them out. And the community as a whole seems to go, yay, do that. And now they're like, JK, we're going to let them back in. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Terry, Terry's been very vocal on this topic. I'm curious he does say spoofers will take this as a win, but what do you think it will matter either way? Ultimately, Terry, is what I'm asking you in the chat room. And as he has the delay and comes back with that answer, I wonder how Terry Wolf is going to listen to podcasts when he goes to Go Fest. What do you think, Joe? Do you think he'll be on Downtrodden or Downcast? Downcast is what I was trying to think of. Do you think he'll be on Downcast there, Joe?
Clearly, he's going to stream it from MySpace.
There you go.
Good reference, sir. Bonus points to Joe tonight. I did not see that answer coming.
No, he's going to definitely use the Satchel Podcast Player.
Darn
Because
right.
it's a great way to keep up with your podcasts. Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit of the features that the Satchel Podcast Player has?
Oh, certainly. Well, of course, you've got your geocentric podcast that helps you find those podcasts that are produced in an area near you. So those things that are community-based or local entertainment, things like that. You would have a hard time finding those in iTunes or Stitcher or things like that. So using the Satchel Podcast Player and getting that automatically delivered to you is a great way to do it. Number two, it's a great way to support the shows you love. You can actually use buttons in the app to help support shows with Patreon donations, sending a little love back to the podcast that are providing you some great entertainment. It's all there. It's all there in the free Satchel Podcast Player. You can find your own at satchelplayer.com.
It is a beautiful thing. I'm telling you, they still do it. Whenever they roll out the updates, read the update patch notes. They slip in something funny every single time. It's great.
Right.
Joe, Ibbott just talked about how you could throw out some love to your podcast hosts through Satchel. There's another way to throw out some love to this podcast, and it's patreon.com/Pokemon GO Podcast. And somebody did that this week, and I know you love announcing who did that.
It was Robcat67.
Nice.
How did you find this made up name? Because I went to Patreon. I wasn't going to put his real name in. I was like, okay, I find his real name everywhere I look. How'd you find his superhero name?
I went to Discord.
Are we using our made-up names? Oh, okay.
All right. So now, before we go on to random trivia and that kind of thing, Terry has answered what I asked him. And he says we might see an increase in spoofers if they think they won't get banned. I will infer extra that won't matter if they do get banned. Jacket K says, now I'm going to Google MySpace to see if there's even anything in that URL anymore. But Terry follows up, I don't understand what Niantic is thinking, but it's like they take 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
Yeah.
And I know that Terry, that you, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people agree with me, you're a voice of the community. You're definitely a community leader on Twitter and wherever else you go and talk about this. And I think you are a temperature gauge of what the community is thinking. And I think that's probably what the whole community is thinking, is like, this is a step back and we don't understand it. What time is it, Joe?
It is time for random trivia. And this week I wanted to talk about Spinda, the Spot Panda Pokemon. A couple weeks ago, we talked about in one of the data mines that they had found hints that Spinda was coming. We haven't seen Spinda just yet, but I am hopeful that we will see him in the coming months. Hopefully sooner than that, but we'll have to wait and see. One of the reasons why Spinda isn't out just yet is because in the Game Boy game, and it looks like they're going to do this in Pokemon Go as well, his spot pattern is randomized. Randomized within a certain number of different iterations of it, sprites. But he's got a ton of different spot patterns that he can appear as. And his Pokédex entry confirms, similar along those lines. It says that no 2 Spinda are said to have identical spot patterns on their hides. This Pokemon moves in a curious manner as if it is stumbling in dizziness. Its lurching movements can cause the opponent to become confused. Kind of reminds me of a drunken master, but he's a panda.
Right.
So, and he's white with pink spots by default anyway. His shiny form, the pink becomes green. It's more like an off-white-ish, but yeah, he becomes the pink
really
becomes green.
Moss, yeah.
Yeah. And he's real cool.
Yeah.
He's
kind of looks like a Plussy to me. Like I could see him, but I know those
Plusle?
Or Plusle, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yep. Kind of. He's a panda. Some people say a red panda. Just because of the coloration.
Right.
Some people say his ears look more like rabbit ears than they do any kind of panda ears.
Right.
Its coloring apparently is close to a subspecies of giant panda called the Kinling panda, which are pretty cool looking pandas where they have no black on them, at least on the picture I'm looking at. They're white and tan ish. I could see how they could get pink out of that, but
yeah. And you already said that it's where the name is, where the name comes
I didn't
from.
say what the name comes from. Why don't you go ahead and tell us?
I'm going to guess that spin for like that spinny pattern that it has on it, and for panda.
Ha! Yes.
What a lucky guess. I love playing this game.
So, and there's actually several panda Pokemon not in Pokemon Go yet, but in the different generations. But I'm pretty sure that Spinda is the first panda to appear. Although some people say that Snorlax is based off of a bear, so I mean, you could argue.
Yeah,
that.
Snorlax feels kind of panda-esque. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it could be holding a sneezing baby Snorlax in its lap and freak out when that thing goes off. You could just see it, totally see it.
He one-upped you on his references, Joe.
Touche.
Now, my question is where I went, when you were talking. The lore says none of them have the exact same spots.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're not going to be able to put that in.
No. If I remember correctly, there was like 24 different sprites added that they found in the dive in the.
Oh, so they are kind of changing it up then, possibly.
Yeah, so it's not going to be
I don't expect totally random, but I didn't think they.
But there'll be more than. But there'll be more than one design on them. Interesting. So as a collector, do I collect one of every type?
Bum, bum, bum.
Every pattern? No, I don't think I do. Because I'm not doing the male and female versions of everything.
Man, that'd be a lot. That is a huge live deck.
That would be an undertaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get the unknowns because they're literally different.
Well, yeah, for sure. I would get every individual unknown that I could, for sure.
But that's harsh. That's a big undertaking.
Oh, yeah,
right
for sure.
Man, you saying literally now makes me think of Parks and Rec since I've been watching.
Have you been literally binging on?
I have been literally binging
on Parks and Recreation.
Can you say Pokédex entry 3 times very fast?
Pokédex entry, Pokédex entry, Pokédex entry.
His voice went up on the last one. That was fun. I don't know why I did it. That was fun. Well, there you go. Who requested it? Somebody requested that.
Yeah. Terry Wolf.
Terry Wolf. There you go. That was funny. All right, gentlemen, it is the time to wrap it up here. Do you have any other words of advice or wisdom?
Yeah, go have some fun on Community Day. And if it's raining, take an umbrella. But if it's not, wear sunscreen. Because you don't want to look like Charmander's been singeing the top of your head like I did after Mareep last month.
Don't blast burn your skin.
Right, exactly. Yes, I made the mistake of thinking, it's April. I don't have to wear sunscreen in April. Oh, no. That was a painful couple days.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you got to tell people you caught a soul rock.
That's right. And remember, shiny Charmander looks like pee.
You might have just stolen Joe's in line. Who knows? So, yeah, get out there, have some fun, get prepared for the weekend as the event's coming up. Save your pineapple berries and your raspberries and all that jazz. Joe, where can they find you? Is there? Because you didn't reveal because you always want to talk about your contest. Explain it like a 5-year-old.
Right.
And you didn't reveal last week what the winner was. You waited till you went to the Patreon.
Well, the winner was chosen tonight. It was the finals.
Okay.
Yeah. The finals were Onyx and Gengar.
Okay.
So,
and then you'll reveal the winner maybe next week.
No, I'm gonna reveal the winner. Well, I mean, on the podcast, I can.
On the podcast, yeah. For
I'm
Patreon.
gonna.
Yeah.
Well, I'll post it out to Facebook and Twitter tonight. So.
There you go. So if you are live, and this is why I do this while we're still on the podcast, to get you to come out and listen to us live and hang out. It's a lot of fun. If you're live, you can do ! The letter S, hit spacebar, and type in a title suggestion for the show, and we're going to read that out. And I want to give a big thanks to everybody who's still watching right now, and that is For Real Fan for Life, Brad the Blind, Darth Balls 0069, Dugenstein. I love these names, man. Dragons for Lunch, Electrical Skateboard. Maybe they're a huge fan, or they're a box. They were on both shows that Abe and I did tonight.
That's right.
LEP, Jacket K, Kurtz E. Flush. Curtis E. Flush. That's right.
Curtis E. Flush. Correct.
Yeah. Our good friend and compatriot, Kirstable, Lady Jasmine, Slow Cool, Terry Wolf, Tag 2K, Virgo Pros, and Zinzaloo. And Zinzaloo is probably one of the most dedicated. Where's Lady Jasmine? Oh, there's Lady Jasmine. I didn't read Lady Jasmine's name. Okay, cool. But I know Lady Jasmine was here. But Zinzaloo, while he likes to do the Snorlax trolling quite often, you're here every week, and we appreciate that. So thank you. If you're on the podcast, you can email us live too, but you can always email, get your words into the show. It is show@PokemonGoPodcast.com. Of course, there is a speak pipe on that website, PokemonGoPodcast.com. You can leave your voice message. We'd love to play it. Reddit is where you can give your suggestions and make sure that what you want to hear on the show as far as news-wise goes is on. Some people leave comments. Joe, who is it that does the write-ups and the fun graphics?
Jacket K.
Is it Jacket K? Cool. Mm-hmm. Jacket K does some write-ups there on Reddit. It's reddit.com/r/Pokemon Go Podcast. Facebook is /Pokemon Go Podcast. Twitter is @Pokemon Go Pod. And Twitch is Pokemon Go Podcast, where you can follow this page and you'll be told when we're live. Next week, it'll be 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern is when we're going to be live. So come and check it out there. And where can they find you on the web, Joe?
You can find me at Joseph_Ard.
You can find me at Coverville.
And you can find me at Rock Got a Pod. And sometimes I pretend to be the real Bo York at the real Bo York. No, it's actually Bo York, but I like to give him some love. But he's been so busy. We need to get him back on the show. We need to tie him down at some point and say, "Come on the show, man."
For sure.
Let's do this. So, all right. Until next week, tune in to hear Joe say.
Man, I love pandas. I wish I could have a pet panda. That would be a lot of fun. Don't you think?
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
They look so playful.
I was just waiting for. I was waiting for. I don't know what I was waiting for.
I'm waiting for panda.
Panda. Bamboo, panda.
All right, let's go. And okay, let me put in the vote link for everybody. So if you're still here on Twitch, we've stopped the podcast, but this I'm putting it in the chat now. And Ibby, I did finally figure out how to make you mod.
Oh, look, Charles gets to put in links in the show in the chat.
But you can go to that link there, the showbot.tv/ all that jazz that ends in Pokemon Go Podcast, and vote. And let's see what our options are tonight, gentlemen. My Charizard has water damage by Terry Wolf. Don't blast burn yourself, but that's a good one by Zinzaloo. Both of those are tied at 1. Ultra Stressed is the one I put in. Water Sucks. It Really Sucks by Joe. Just Bring an Umbrella, You Pansy by Terry Wolf. Charles the Cat Hates Water by Zinzaloo. I like this one too. Char-man-der. Because apparently I think I was saying it wrong. By Zinzaloo.
It's like the Budweiser.
Bud. Why is the frogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, and What's McFall Drinking by Kurt Stable put in. And let's see. So right now, Don't Blast Burn Yourself is at 3, Charizard's at 2, and Bringing Umbrellas at 1. Everybody's voting, so I'll give you all time to vote. And
there's a tie, 3-3.
So, and again, I mean, seriously, thanks to everybody who comes out and does this live. It brings a new element to the show, and we appreciate you. And still go and download the podcast because every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that too.
Looks like we've got a winner. My Charizard has water damage.
Doesn't sound like a winner for Charizard.
Zinzaloo, I was trying to help. I went and voted for Don't Blast Burn Yourself, and somebody voted for Terry's. They bumped it up even more. I tried. I like Don't Blast Burn Yourself. I thought it was great. But Charizard, that one probably lends itself to art a little bit better, maybe.
Yeah, either one would be fine.
And by the way, everybody, this was episode 96. We are 4 away.
Ooh, from the big 100.
Yeah, regular pandas may be vicious, but my favorite animal is a red panda. I love those little red pandas.
I feel Zinzaloo's pain here. He's like, this is like the 3rd time Terry wins all the time. I think maybe we've used one of Zinzaloo's.
You know, we could. It's a tie now. I see. Don't Blast Burn Yourself at 5 and 5. So
it is at 5 and 5.
You could. How do you blame me? I vote for you every time. Now, how do I take my vote back? I want to take my vote back. I can't.
I don't think you can.
But
what's McFall drinking?
Blast Burn Yourself. Yeah, Kurt put that in. Well, to be fair, too, on our other show on FTH Beyond, we use it for questions instead of title suggestions. So you probably was actually asking the question what I was drinking because I was doing the panda walk. I had the dizzy panda walk when I was talking.
Yeah.
And actually, Zinzaloo, you got 6 now. So,
yeah, I'd say Don't Blast Burn Yourself is what we're doing.
Yeah. I think you can do the shiny Charizard and some sunscreen lotion or something.
Yep.
So there you go.
I'll do that.
All right.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Still make plans to come to Dragon Con. We're still having a big Dragon Con coming up in September.
This works.
I'm going to be at Atlanta Comic Con in July.
I love when Joe starts talking in Discord while we're still doing the stream.
I know. Yeah, he does that.
Don't mind me. I do my own thing.
All right, folks. Have a good rest of your day. I'm stopping the stream now.